So I've been interested in two projects that I'm going to try to speak about. One is about caring for immigrant seniors in the United States, and the other is a more recent undertaking that I have done, and that is about caring for seniors outside the United States. So if you look at 2010 census data, you are seeing that Asians have now overtaken Hispanics. So in terms of sheer numbers, what used to be the larger group of the two, Hispanic Americans, you're now seeing that Asians have taken over. So what is acculturative stress? The stress associated with movement to another new culture. So from the confines, the safety, the secure base of one's homeland, uprootment in late life can be quite a difficult experience. It's difficult for anyone of any age group, and particularly so when you are 60 plus and you are experiencing resettlement in an unfamiliar land. What was fascinating and not surprising was that if you were proficient in English, you were also likely to be highly educated. If you had been longer in the United States, your income was also likely to be higher. A lot of these older adults reported that they provided babysitting services, they provided services that were informal and sometimes that were of a paid nature to others. And so they had found ways in which they could earn some money, and that came about with an extended stay in the country. So what am I recommending as far as working with older immigrant groups? I think what an organization like ACA can do is really work on improving the English proficiency. Yeah, the English proficiency of older adults. And that, I think, is a key to adaptation in this country. And it may not be a bad idea to pair one older adult who's come in from India with someone who has aged here. And this will allow for interesting dynamics and exchanges to occur, and both to be able to appreciate and build a partnership together. One big change that they all seem to unanimously state was role reversal. That in India there was this status that they enjoyed as the older person, that they were looked up to, that they were sought for advice, their input was sought for matters of decision making and so on. But here they came into this country and then they were dependent. They were the ones seeking advice, and sometimes it was even asking their grandchildren. I can tell you that the first time my mother went to a senior center after she lost my father, and we lived in Ann Arbor then, she went to play bingo and she won the jackpot that day. And it was a bittersweet sort of experience for her, because she did win the jackpot and she was thrilled to have done so. But the jackpot was a plot of a symmetry plot. And I thought, this so much lacks in taste that you would provide a plot for a senior. And I understand it's a fabulous amount of money and all these things. And I said, to someone who has just experienced a loss, to someone who is of a different faith, whose faith prescribes cremation versus a burial, obviously the people at that center had not paid attention to cultural differences. They hadn't even thought that this might be something that lacks sensitivity. They were very well-intentioned. They absolutely, and they were very apologetic after when I pointed out to them that we are of the Hindu faith and this piece of paper really has no meaning or value to us. But I'm citing this example only for us to recognize that there are very small, subtle issues, but they can have profound impact. And we need to be careful when we design programs, when we design activities. Keep in mind the audience and keep in mind the diversity within the audience as well. Have an alternate, if not this, something else that might substitute or work. So I think we've got to work on developing more senior-friendly technology because adults rely on this. It helps them to stay in touch, feel connected. And I think also, as far as social policy is concerned, we need to recognize what the challenges are, what the issues are, and how this can be addressed within the Asian community.